glad to welcome you back to the show, man. I talked to you last August, and you had a
Yeah,
couple new. Go ahead.
we spoke about the live release we had, right?
We did, we did, we did.
Right.
Man, it seems like it was a year ago already, huh?
Time flies, man. Like months seem, I don't know, like years seem like just a couple of weeks now, but it's like you look back and it was like a year ago.
I know it's crazy. It's crazy. That's funny because you had it was Firewind's 20th year, and we were talking about that. But now you got the 10th studio album coming out. Stand United, and on March 1st. And I got the tracks from Tim.
Oh, cool.
That's probably about a week and a half ago. And as expected, great album, man. Great album.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Glad you liked it.
Yeah, it's I listened to it a couple times already, and I think what it does is it really captures, obviously what you guys sound like. And it ties into that you know, the the madness that's going on today. I read and it really like all the songs, Destiny is Calling and Salvation Day, and songs like
Yeah.
that really touch to those points.
Uh, yeah, well, I think you, people can probably, I'm hoping people can relate to that because it's a crazy world that we're living, like crazy times, man.
Really is.
Um Yeah, I mean, I don't. Don't get me wrong. These songs are not like we don't. We didn't do the lyrics with a negative spin on it. It's just like kind of a realization, I guess, of where we are today, what is happening. Just basically writing about it, like, and I mean, the overall message here is, stand united, obviously,
Right, right.
and we definitely need more unity in humanity
It's the
because we're
truth.
living in because we're living in very polarizing times,
That's
and
right.
I
That's
don't,
right.
and I'm not even talking about political things because we're not a political band. I was never going into that.
Right,
This is maybe from a social political aspect of it, like looking
right.
at society and how we fit into this whole thing and what's happening, and maybe it's the whole what do you call it? Maybe it's a whole pandemic effect, after effect, if you like.
That's right. That's right.
I think it left a scar on everybody's soul. Maybe
It did.
even
It
for those
did.
even for those who are denying it or not realizing it.
And it's crazy. Like as we come out of it, we still feel like we're in it already because you still have the effects. You came out, and there's more uncertainty now than when we were in the pandemic.
Oh yeah,
It's really crazy.
yeah. So that's why I don't watch TV. I don't want to watch. I don't want to hear the news anymore, man. It's depressing. I just want to play music.
And that's what we do too. That's all I do. Listen to music. We don't watch the news anymore. We don't have the local channels anymore, so we stream pretty much everything.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah,
better to stay away from it because you're happier.
yeah. Exactly. Because the thing is, that you have to think like, okay, the sun will shine tomorrow, hopefully again. That's a miracle that we every day you wake up is a miracle. You know,
That's the truth. That's the truth.
so we don't think about that. We don't think how lucky we are. We don't know how much we have. So we forget about all those things, man. Like so anyways, yeah, a lot of things. I mean, this album has to do a lot of with a lot of things that are in a human mind, and that you can see that a little bit on the cover artwork as well. That's why you see that collage of faces,
Right.
and each face kind of represents things that are being talked about or are thrown out on the lyrics. You know, things like
Right.
not only bad things but good things too. There's like war and death, but there's also love. So there's things like that
That's right.
too.
That's right. And
Yeah,
it's just what people focus on, and you seem to, like you just said in the beginning, right there. It's not the negative things. It's just, seeing what you guys see, and then writing about it because it's so much in your face now, and like you said, how much it changed things,
yeah,
for the good and the bad.
yeah. And we have that's the thing. Like good and evil, I think it's within us, and we have the choice. We have a choice which path to go. I hope I don't
That's
sound
right.
like a religious guy because I'm really not that either, believe me. But but these are things that are within us. So
That's right.
we have a choice here, you know. So it's always been about that. Um, maybe I'm getting older and I'm thinking about these things a bit more nowadays.
I know I'm with you. I feel the same way. You see things way differently than when you were younger. You kind of have that, that block, and you
Yeah,
only see that
yeah,
tunnel, and everything else now just
yep,
crashes in.
yeah.
You know, with this album, as I listen through it, with a lot of the albums that you guys do, there's a lot of diversity, in the
Mm,
music. And this one right here, and I wanted to bring up Talking in Your Sleep. You guys
okay.
doing that Romantics cover. When I saw that, I said, man, this is cool because it's really different, from what, a metal band would do. But I love what you guys did with it because you rocked it, but you kept it, in the same structure of the original song. Tell us
Yeah,
about
yeah.
that. What made you choose to do that one? Because I thought it was cool,
Thank you. Yeah. Well, yeah, it's not the obvious cover, isn't it?
right?
Because the thing is that the problem that we ran into was because we were looking for what are the 80s pop hits? We were looking at, we're kind of known for doing, putting a metal spin on Maniac, and that kind
Right.
of became our most streamed song and whatnot. But then we were looking for like a follow up maybe to that, if you like. Um, and like that became a problem because all the songs have been taken by all metal bands and have been covered at least once.
Right. That's right.
So one day I was just driving around and this song came up on the radio. It's something actually I should say gets played a lot on the radio here in Greece on classic radio.
That's
And I was
cool.
just I was driving around listening to that, and then like I started thinking like, oh man, this one. Why not this one? And then I Googled it to see if anybody had done a cover.
Right.
And luckily for me, no no metal bands,
There
no
we
metal
go.
bands had done the cover. Yeah. And then I texted everybody in the band and said, hey guys, how about this one? And everybody got back to me right away. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Great
That's
song,
cool.
man. Let's do it. Yeah. So then okay, the choice is there. So it's right there in front of us. Let's do it.
That's
Yeah.
pretty cool. Well, hey, now you made the list, man. You're the
Yes.
first metal band to cover it. Which
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't know if there's any other ones
it
that I just missed, or maybe Google didn't have, didn't on the search engine, but I didn't find any other bands and or
That's cool.
any notable covers, at least from anybody.
Well, you guys really did it too. And what I love about this too is listening to a song like that is the guitar piece in it. Obviously
Mm.
that's what you did to it, but I
See,
don't
the
even know how to
thing,
explain it. It's really got a great groove.
I'll tell you what, that song, even though if it's like this 80s pop rock song, there's no keyboards on it. Surprisingly, you think there would be tons of keyboards on it, like on every 80s song, but there isn't. It's basically the main riff is a bass line, and
Right.
there's like layers of guitars, like these clean, kind of funky rhythms, and then the guitar is following the bass line, like on unison. So it's actually there's a lot of guitar on that song. You don't realize
It's
because it's
cool.
such a pop song, and it's like it has it doesn't have like ton of distortion on it, the guitars on the original version. But
Right.
we added it with distortion. I played it with my sound, and all of a sudden it becomes like this heavier thing.
Right.
But there's no keyboards on it. It's just a lot of guitar tracks and a lot of layers on it.
That's amazing too. Like you said, with the 80s songs, everything was tied in with the keys and
Hmm.
hearing
I mean,
one like this, is different.
yeah.
I think that's cool. I like what especially the last couple albums and the way they've sounded. And I wanted to bring Dennis Ward as a producer into this. I had a chance to talk with him several years ago when he was working on the project with Michael Kiske, the Place of Vendome, I believe it's pronounced.
Yeah, and they were also in Unisonic together.
Unisonic, correct. But what I like what he does, with you guys, I mean, on these albums, because I think it really brings out the kind of like the live feel of Firewind. And Firewind to me is a live band. When I listen to
Hmm.
the stuff that you guys do, especially on YouTube and everything, I mean, it's so, I mean, sonic. Tell us about that, like the production side of it, and what it goes into, putting this together. with Dennis?
Um, well, we've been working with Dennis for about 6 years now, or more than 7 years. Um, and it's just really easy to work with him. I basically always do the demos here in my studio, and I'll just send him demos. Um, and Originally, like when we started working on the album Immortals, he wrote all the lyrics and vocal lines over the music that I handed him. And right there, I knew that I have a solid co-writing partner there. And of course, on top of that, he's a great engineer, great mixer and mastering guy. So he's like a, what do you call it, like a Swiss Army knife kind of
Yeah,
guy.
it's
Like
perfect. Jack of
that's
all
how I
trades.
think of him.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I think
yeah.
of him like that, like because at some point he was, he's also been performing with me on my solo band because we have like a my solo band is like a trio setup. So he plays bass and he can sing great too.
Right, right.
And he's, I mean, I told him at some point that my record should be called Dennis Ward and Friends instead of like Gus G or Firewind, he does so many things on it.
That's
Um,
right. That's cool.
yeah, but no, man, we work together really well, like and really fast, and because I'm a very determined guy. Like I know what I want from the songs and where I'm heading, like direction wise,
Right.
and so he likes that too. I'm not like lost on things. He's like, oh, what do I want to do? I don't go through these, you know, like by the time I will send him something, I will already have done my personal searching, and then I know what kind of sound I'm going for. I send it to him, and then he will just like on this record, his role was slightly different because Herbie was more involved in the writing.
Right.
So we started together from scratch. And I mean, Dennis wrote a few of the lines on there as well, and a couple of lyrics, a couple of ideas, like the chorus of Stand United. He suggested that one. That was his
Nice.
vocal demo, and we got inspired and we wrote the rest around that. Um, and some other times we will just present him a full song, and then we'll just ask for his input or stamp of approval. He'll go in because he's American. He will maybe correct some lyrics to make sure the grammar
Right.
is
Right.
correct. There's no mistakes. Um, and then there's like little production things here and there. He might suggest like, okay, maybe add a little thing here and there, or like a melody there. Like it's just so basically between me and Herbie and Dennis, we have a really solid songwriting team.
Yeah, you guys did great on this one, and I love Herbie. I liked him before and everything he did. The Avantasia stuff,
Hmm.
and obviously, working with you now, I think what he does is he delivers the songs to me like in that heavy, I think it really captures, your playing and how that ties in. Tell us what it's like to work with Herbie, because I think this is a great mesh of artists here with this band.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, also another very good example of somebody who works fast and he's very efficient and just easy all around guy. Like he's the kind of guy who's almost like a really good factory worker. Like he will just get
Right.
up in the morning at 9 in the morning, and like because I wake up late, I'm a mess. But I'll wake up late, and then by the time I wake up, I will already have a few emails with idea suggestion. How about this, and
Right.
so
That's
he's
cool.
he gets to work. He doesn't fuck around. So
That's cool.
yeah. So and it's great, and we exchange ideas. I go to him and I tell him sometimes when I have a demo, I have a working title for it, and maybe sometimes he'll be inspired by that, or even I'll just tell him, hey, I'm thinking so and so, or like this is what I was thinking of when I was writing this. What do you think?
Right.
And then he maybe takes all that info and then he creates something on his own and send it back, and we bounce ideas back and forth like that. So this is how we went about writing the new record with Herbie, and it was cool. We took our time too because we had all this touring in between last year. um
Right.
so the album was recorded in different sessions, which of course it was a little bit nerve-wracking, but it gave us the opportunity to rethink on a lot of on the vocals especially, and lyrics and things like that. We had time to work it out.
It has to be good to have somebody like that too, that, like you said, he's that factory worker and he puts all that
Yeah.
together and you guys, work together very well. and you could see that you is it like a comfort zone for you now, like at that point to where, hey, I have a guy here that I can really work with and along with Dennis as a producer
Yeah,
to have that freedom, you know?
yeah, it feels really good, man. I feel like I feel motivated about making Firewind albums again, because after like 9 or 10 records, you always wonder like, okay, what's next? Where do we go like from here? Like, what is there to say for this band like 20 plus years down the line?
Right.
Um, but if you have a good team around you and everybody's motivated and it's you can share an idea and then you get something back it's that motivates you to keep going. You're like, okay, yeah, we can create something cool here.
That's cool to hear. You know, this album is being backed by a by a big Euro and US tour, which I thought was really cool to see. And you're getting ready to kick off the new album, the support of it. Um, and tell us what the fans can expect from this tour because I have my tickets here for when you guys come to Pittsburgh. I got the VIP pass.
Oh,
You know,
you
so
did? Okay,
I did,
so I'll
man.
see you there.
I can't wait to see you guys. And I've been telling everybody about it, man. Just get the tickets, come in and see these guys because they're gonna blow you away live. So what can the fans expect, from this tour?
um I mean, we are kind of redesigning our set list a little bit. So because I mean, obviously we want to play a lot of the new stuff because I
Right,
think it's worth to be heard live. And of course, we are promoting a new album, so there will be new stuff on the set list, new additions. But of course, there's some songs that are kind of like staples, I guess. You have to play them.
right, right,
So, and then we trying to maybe bring back one or two songs from the catalog that we haven't done before or haven't done in years, just to keep things fresh for us too,
right,
and also for fans. And I mean, especially in America, we haven't done a headline thing in like 12, 13 years. It's been a
right,
while.
right.
So it's also will be a little bit of a discovery trip for us there,
That's
coming
right.
back to America after many years. We did a tour with Dragon Force a couple of years ago, which I think was a good thing to get us in front of a new crowd.
Right.
But yeah, Firewind hasn't done their own thing there since a long time ago. We've mainly focused in Europe. Um, so yeah, I think it's going to be a powerful set list. It's going to be a high energy live show as always. Um, so if you plan to come to a show, get ready for a lot of energy and heavy stuff, heavy guitars.
I can't wait
And
to
we have a
hear.
good package with us, man. We have good bands with us. The package. Edge of Paradise. They're a good band. They're a great band.
Right.
Up and coming guys,
Eh,
and Immortal Guardian. Those guys shred, man. Frog band and the keyboard
Good
player
stuff.
reminds me of Bob, our old keyboard player. He can play keyboards and guitar at the same time.
That's cool.
So it's a good package, yeah. So it'll be a good show.
Yeah, I can't wait. I've never seen you guys live. I mean, it's all, watching the YouTube videos and everything, and then
Oh,
so
okay.
I'm ready. I'm
Yeah,
ready to hear
it's
it, man. I
a
can't
lot of
wait.
people a lot of people tell me it's different from the albums. Like people get a totally different, more raw and heavier energy when they see us live. They're like, wow, you don't sound as heavy on the records. Maybe it's too polished. I don't know, but it'll be good. Yeah.
That's good. We can't wait to see it. And you talked about obviously the tour and coming in here. And I know we talked about this last time. I couldn't even imagine, after 20 years and 10 albums now, trying to put a set list together to not to please yourselves. I mean, not
No,
let alone the fans.
it's been tough, man. I'm telling you, like this set list now on this run, it's starting to get tough, especially like on the kickoff, like the first run, like the
Right.
first leg, if you like, because you have to play a lot of the new stuff, and then you're like, okay, but then there's like material from like 9 albums in the back.
But
So how can you cover that in like 90 minutes? We need to play like for 3.5 hours there.
right, right.
Anyways, but uh, like I said, we went back and forth quite a few times with the guys about switching things left and right, adding
Right.
something, removing something, oh, maybe this or that. And there's always that factor that once you start playing things on the road, you might realize that, oh, maybe that didn't work as well. And we always start with more new songs as we go along, and then we see what works and what doesn't, and then we'll probably replace it with something older. And
Right.
But yeah, getting back to your question, yeah, doing a set list after 10 records, it's a task. Yeah.
Well, I can imagine on top of everything else, writing the new music and everything that you do too.
It's a good problem, it's a good problem, of course.
Right.
Because I want everybody to be happy. I know you cannot do that, but
See,
because we have to keep it fresh for ourselves, but also for fans too. So yeah.
right. Yeah, I think this is going to be a great tour for you guys, really. I mean, with this album and the way it's going to. What kind of reception have you been getting from it so far? I mean, obviously, I've listened to it. I know that, at least some of the media is listening to it. I can imagine you guys are getting some good feedback already.
Yeah, the reviews that I've read on the album so far, they're really good. Really good. A lot of people are excited and are telling me similar things to what you're telling me, like they feel it's a lot of people feel that this is the most fresh Firewind has sounded in years and years, probably since the good old days of, Premonition era and Allegiance era. So a lot of people are putting this album like right up there. And I too think, this is like almost like a, what do you call it, like a the rebirth of Firewind, like with that started with after the hiatus with that started with Immortals, like the last three albums we've done. Yeah, I think we are going through a really highly productive period, and that we have a really good vibe between us within the band, creatively, as people as well. So,
It's
and
cool to hear.
yeah. So it's we're in a good place now, like mentally and everybody in the band, and I think musically as well. So yeah, I think maybe that shows on the albums, and maybe yeah, that's why the feedback on the reviews and on the album is really good.
When you can write from a standpoint like that, like you said, relaxed, um, you know, I know I asked you this on the last interview, but when you're writing a song, just for the fans out there, what's it like when Gus G starts writing a Firewind song? Is it what do you structure it around? Is it like a hook? Is it a melody, or is it a combination of things?
Um, I mean, first and foremost, I write for myself. Like when I'm in my room, I just write for myself. I'm not thinking what people will think. I
Right,
have to like it first, because if I don't like it, how can I present it to you or anybody? Like if I don't
right,
like what I'm
right,
doing, it won't be true. It won't be
right,
real.
right.
Um, so that's where I start from, and I just put ideas down, and then if I feel strongly about it, then it goes into my mind. It starts working. Like, okay, I think this is something that I really believe in. This is something I really like, and I think that our fans are gonna dig it. Some of them.
That's cool.
So that's how I go about when I'm making songs. So first of all, I just put stuff down, and then I see how I feel about it. First of all, is it something I want to do? Is it something that gets me excited? Yeah,
That's cool because you can, when like I said, just if you bring this album up and how it sounds, you could hear that passion and that power. And I think the fans, like you said earlier, they hear that level of confidence now. Things are working smoothly, and man, this guy's here to and this band's here to conquer the world. And I think that's what
yeah,
this tour is about, really.
it is. We want to bring the band to as many people as possible. I know we've had our ups and downs as a band, but like Stand United is all about going out. I mean, this band is here 20 years later, 20 plus years
Right.
later, and we feel, like I said, we have we found a new, maybe a new excitement, a new confidence, and we're ready to kick ass again. You know.
That's great to hear, man. I'm ready to see it 2 months away from here, so
Yeah.
I can't wait. Let's talk about let's talk about how you got started. I know you started young, and your dad was kind of like in the doing music and things like that. Tell us about the start. Way back then. It probably seems like a lifetime ago. I'm sure.
Yeah. About what, starting playing guitar?
We're starting as looking at even playing guitar or doing anything in music.
Yeah. I mean, I started very young when I was 10 years old, and I mean, especially after I got my first electric guitar, which was around 13, 14. I was just a kid that was in my room a lot, practicing. When I was not in school, I was at home watching my VHS tapes of Paul Gilbert and Yngwie Malmsteen and Vinnie Moore and those
Awesome.
guys, just trying to steal their licks and learn all that stuff, and just practicing on my technique and listening to my favorite metal albums and things like that. So I probably missed out a lot on just hanging out with other kids, but I didn't care, just
Right.
I was just like so much into what I was doing. Yeah, it was good. Like that was probably my teenage years, I guess. Yeah, and it was good. I never regret that. That I just spent all this time with a guitar. That's what made me happy.
That's cool. That's cool to hear that story. And you brought those guys in like I think you incorporate a lot of that sound, which is what I like about what you do, because it's not only the melodic side, it's the heavy side. When you heard like a
Yeah.
Paul Gilbert and Eraser X Days, with the things that those guys did. I mean, that was a fantastic band. It was severely
Hmm.
underrated.
Yep. I agree. I agree. Yeah. So this is the stuff I wanted to do, and at the same time, I loved Sabbath. So I wanted to kind of
Right.
like have the my goal was like, can I play as heavy as Sabbath but shred like Yngwie and Paul Gilbert? Can I do that? Like that was I just loved all those sounds, and I went through a period of where I was just discovering everything and listening to everything, not only metal, like blues as well, and jazz and fusions. I was into a lot of things, but metal won me over.
Absolutely. When you look back at days like that, I know a lot of people look back at their younger days and their start, and you look back and you say, hey, was this something that you can't even imagine, that you dreamt of back then? Are you at that point to where you look back and say, man, this is really cool? Do you ever have moments like that?
Oh yeah, yeah, of course. Daydreaming, it's called, or something.
Right? It's like that.
Yeah, yeah. Of course, I had those moments where I was just picturing myself like, you know, being part of a band and like, or being in America and playing gigs and playing for crowds and just shredding and like making records, or not know, like thinking like, where could this end up? Just
It's cool.
yeah, I could, I don't know what do you call it? Like almost like trying to manifest this a little bit. Like
Sure.
this
Yeah.
is what I want. Like
Manifest.
yeah, this is what I want to do. I just couldn't wait until high school was over because I couldn't stand it there. I just wanted to get out, leave the country, and find a band to play, to start a band somewhere.
That's a cool story. I've been listening to you and been a fan since the Dream Evil days. Obviously
Oh,
Dragon Slayer and the Book of Heavy Metal, which I love that album. You have a fairly extensive catalog, with some of the other bands, including Firewind. Mystic Prophecy is another one. Tell us about those days, like the Dream Evil, and when you kind of like took that step into bands like that, because those albums were some great stuff, man.
sorry, like about like Dream Evil, like those days there.
Yeah, what was it like, like when you came up and those earlier bands like that?
Um, it's kind of a long story because I was living, I was living in Sweden at the time, and the thing is I was basically, I would play guitar for anybody who wanted me to play guitar for, like, so I started writing with Frederick a few songs, and that turned into Dream Evil. At the same time, I was in touch through a mutual friend. I was in touch with Leah, the singer of Mystic Prophecy. He was getting ready to put Mystic Prophecy together. He was looking for a young guitar player. Somebody told him about me. Oh, this guy's got talent. He's a young kid and he's 19, whatever.
That's cool.
So basically, I was doing all these side projects and at the same time working on my own demos, which was going to be Firewind, was destined to be Firewind from the start. But it was just like projects where they were unsigned. There was no guarantees, nothing. And it's kind of strange because everything happened at once all of a sudden, like 3 years down the line. All of those projects were they had record deals, record contracts, and all of a sudden we were all releasing our debut albums that I was working on for like the past 3 years with those guys separately. Um, and shortly after, like offers to play live came in, and we had to figure that out.
Right.
So it was exciting time, exciting times. I could feel the changing happening, the changes, and like one step closer to the dream. It was like
That's cool.
it was always like that. Like, oh my God, I can't believe like we're gonna go on our first European tour. Damn, it's.
That's
I mean, I'm
cool.
still excited like a kid about these things. I'm still excited when I get like a when I agree to do a tour and things like that. I'm still like really excited about it. And it's like wow, I want to go back and do this. And um, maybe the pandemic made me excited like that again, like a little kid.
That's right. That to have that as a musician though, as an artist, that passion, still, I mean, no matter what, I mean, it drives you to continue to do what you do. I mean, and
Yeah,
make these great albums. And it seems like, does this seem like things get easier for you now that you've done so much, or is it still like, hey, I need to, outdo myself on this one? Is there that kind of pressure as well?
yeah, there is. I mean, primarily for my own brain, for me, like
Right, right.
because I want to evolve, I want to be a better player, a better musician, a better composer. So, I don't want to make an album that will. I don't think anybody wants to make an album that will be worse than the last one.
Right. It's
I don't think anybody wants that. So
right, right.
I want it to be better. So I always strive for that. Like, okay, we have to outdo everything we've done before. And
Right.
that's why I try to inject new things into our style with every album, trying to keep it fresh. Um, yeah,
That's a great story. That's great to hear it too, because you could hear like I said, as a fan, listening to, to this album and the things that you're continuing to do. There's that passion is still there. And it's
yeah,
like,
absolutely.
and the hunger too. When you have a band that's hungry, you could hear that as a fan. I think that's where you guys are at right now. And from what
Yes,
I hear,
yes. We are very hungry. We want to put the band where it belongs because I think a lot of things happened to the band that didn't get its rightful place, if you like.
right? That's right.
But then, without wanting to sound big headed or like a ungrateful son of a bitch or something, because because I am grateful for everything we've had, and
Right,
everything
right,
I've
right.
had. But I do think the band is a little bit underrated. And I'm not the only one saying it. A lot of fans are saying it. Like I
Agree.
get that almost every day. I get a comment like, "I can't believe you guys aren't like widely known and like much bigger." I'm like, I know.
That's right. That's right.
And I think that's also part. We are to blame partly. We've had so many lineup changes. We went on a hiatus for 4 years. So when these things happen to you, of course, it's going to hurt the brand and it's going to hurt you. So,
Right.
and the word you used before is very important. Hunger. You need to stay hungry to stay in the game. Almost like sports. Like
That's right.
if you want to have a shot at a title, you have to be hungry for it. You need to want to do it to want to be the champion. So
Right. Right.
so I still feel that, as a kid, like I want to go out there and kick ass. And even though the band really doesn't have anything to prove to anybody, we've been, and our fans know us, the people that care about us and follow us, they know what we're about.
Right.
But I think there's still room for us. There's more things for us to do and to conquer. So yeah, maybe that's why this album sounds so energetic and
Right.
uh,
Right.
so fresh. I don't know. I think it sounds fresh.
It does. It does. I think what's going to be nice too is opening up this American audience a little bit more because
Yeah,
we're hungry for this stuff because the stuff that we
and
get over here is
I mean, there's great stuff happening in America, great bands, and a lot of things are happening there. But I think it was a mistake for us to stay away from the American audiences for so long. Um, it just happened. And like I said, you know, we had a 4 year hiatus. I mean, I kept on doing solo tours and solo albums. And people always ask me when is Firewind coming back, and
Right.
so. But yeah, I mean, now we're here.
Well, glad that you guys are back, believe me, and in full force too.
Yeah,
Totally in full force. I don't know how long we have here, Gus. I mean, I don't know if he
I
set
think
a time.
I got yeah. I have to go pretty soon, so I don't know how much more
Okay.
you.
Yeah, I always like to ask just so I can wrap it up and make sure I get in everything. You know, when you look back at you know at your career right now and where you're at, is this a is this, you know, I'm gonna say an enjoying moment, but if you look back on your career, what are some of the things that stand out? Like one of the things that you're like, man, you know, I'm so proud that I got a chance to do this.
Wow.
Tough one.
Yeah, because there's like a lot of things that I'm proud of. You know, first of all, the fact that we are here 20 years later, or 22 years now, like that. I mean, I'm proud that I managed to make 10 Firewind studio albums. I'm really proud of that fact. You know, sure, you know, we didn't become the biggest band in the world or anything like that, but you know, we're still here and we're still doing it.
Right.
Um, so that's something I take pride in. And of course, you know, there's been like many highlights. You know, also if you think we're a band from Greece, it's kind of hard to break out of those borders
Right.
and do it internationally. Um, the competition, there's so many things happening, and nowadays, like
Right.
it's just crazy. Like everybody's, you
That's
know, with the
right.
internet, it's just become like, yeah, a wild market, I guess,
It is.
and the music business changing. But yeah, like a lot of things, and you know, of course, I'm also grateful for a lot of things that happened to me personally. You know, my collaboration with Ozzy, of course, that's a big highlight. Just
Right.
getting
Right.
to experience things at a different level, and you know, so what else? What else? Just the fact that we have wonderful fans around the world, you know, that's to me that's priceless.
Right.
Um, yeah, the
Well
fact that
earned
we
too.
can, yeah, the fact that we can put something out and there's people that will respond, that will support it, and in many cases allow us to travel to their country and play for them.
Right.
You know,
That's cool.
that's pretty miraculous. You know.
That's big time. That's big time.
Yeah.
And it's all that hard work and dedication, you know, that you put in, that passion, you know, that you have for this. It's
Yeah, I'm glad it's paying off to that extent. You know what I mean? Like that
right.
we're able to go and do like I don't know how many countries on this record so far. Like I don't know, 15, 20 countries. But yeah, still like it's wow. You know, like we can go to Japan and play. It's incredible.
That's cool. That's cool to
Yeah,
hear.
we
How
can
about
come to
any
America.
that's it. You get the hey, we got open arms here.
Yeah, I
You guys
know,
come
I
whenever
know.
you want. How about any last
Yeah, man.
words? I mean, for the fans, man. Obviously, new album March 1st. Um,
Yeah, album
anything you want
drops
to get
in.
out there?
Yeah, album drops in a few days. Hope people can check it out. I mean, 5 singles are already out, so you know, if you haven't liked anything so far, then you probably won't like the album. But if you, but if you dig any of the stuff that we put out, you should probably check out the new album and come to a show, man. We're gonna be out in the States touring, so check out the dates and come see us. Yeah,
I highly recommend it, man. I'm telling you.
yeah.
Stand United, great album. March 1st, wait till everybody hears it. Like Gus said, when you hear the stuff that's already been out, you're gonna love the album. And that special cover too, the Romantics cover. I can't wait for everybody to get a chance to hear that. That's pretty cool take on that song.
Thank you.
There's no
Yeah,
doubt about it. So Gus,
thank you.
I want to say thanks for being on the show, man, and thank you for
Thank you,
what you
John.
do. You know, because you know, listening to you and this music and everything is so much a part of my life, man. Thanks for
Oh
doing it.
wow, means a lot. Thanks, man.
Thanks for all the hard work, and I look forward to seeing you April 14th here in Pittsburgh, man. Can't wait.
It's gonna be great. Looking forward to it.
Could be a great show. Hey, have a good rest of the day, Gus, and thanks for joining the show, man. Thank
Thank
you.
you. You too. Bye.
See you.